Hello again and welcome to our July edition of Quick Kit. Links to everything we mentioned will be down in the description below. Anyway, let's get straight into it.
The biggest announcement this month has to be ARRI's latest generation electronic control system, the Hi-5. The WCE4 came out all the way back in 2012 and since then has become one of the most popular focus hand units across a massive range of productions. The new Hi-5 looks to modernise the WCE4 while keeping its robust, intuitive and reliable design. Some of the standout features consist of the following. The Hi-5 features the ability to swap between 3 different radio modules, which means no matter the conditions the connection will be rock solid. There is also a selection of smart focus rings which feature a chip so the hand unit knows exactly which ones you are using. However, rings from the WCE4 will still work fine. Physically, the Hi-5 draws a lot of influence from the WCE4, but with a few really nice refinements, such as the new touchscreen and user buttons. The ability to stand on a flat surface without the unit falling over, which the WCE4 required an extra plate to do, and it also now features a NATO rail along the top for mounting monitors, which gives you much more options, though ARRI will be making a monitor mount specifically for the Hi-5. ARRI have also announced their new ECS Sync app, and this will allow you to sync the Hi-5 with motors, as well as update a range of kit and even manage lens files via it too. It will also be a home for support and FAQs that could relate to the Hi-5 ecosystem. The WCE4 used the Sony MP-FM500H battery, which is quite an annoying battery to get hold of, and the Hi-5 now uses Sony's L series or MPF550, which is much more readily available and more affordable. ARRI will also be releasing their own battery, which features a chip that will give the hand unit real-time time remaining readout. Third-party 550s will work, but will not give readout to the hand unit. You also now have the ability to hot swap batteries, even though there's only a single battery slot. And from what ARRI have told us, you only have around 20 seconds to do the swap, but this is an awesome addition to save downtime of the unit on set. With the Hi-5, ARRI have released 40 plus accessories for it, so it's already a really fleshed out ecosystem. We should be getting a unit into test soon, so make sure to subscribe to catch our full review. Blackmagic Design have announced a range of new products, and this consists of the Studio Camera 4K Pro and Plus, zoom and focus demands, a studio converter, the Web Presenter 4K, the HyperDeck Studio HD Mini, the HyperDeck Studio HD Plus, the HyperDeck Studio HD Pro, and the HyperDeck Studio 4K Pro. Most of these updates are refreshing existing products that have started to get a little bit dated. Let's start off looking at the camera. The Studio Camera 4K Pro looks to be a solid upgrade to the previous models. It still features a Micro Four Thirds mount and sensor, but looks to have improved low light as it can now go up to ISO 25600 and has improved dynamic range, which Blackmagic have quoted as roughly 13 stops. It also has improved microphones, a larger tally light, HDMI and 12G SDI outs, dual USB-C ports, dual XLR ports, and even a 10G Ethernet port, which you can use to power, control and feed the camera when used with their new studio converter. They've also announced both a zoom and focus demand. These are lower cost USB-C based devices that are aimed to be used with MFT lenses. You can loop the USB-C through these, so you only need to use one port, which leaves the second on the camera body free when using both devices. These look really interesting, as there really isn't anything like this at this price point currently. The HyperDeck series has seen a huge update with 4 new models. This includes the new Studio HD Mini, which is based on the Teradek Mini form factor, and has had some features stripped out from the previous model, but has also had the cost cut quite dramatically. The HyperDeck Studio HD Plus is slightly bigger, at half a rack in size, and it can record ProRes and DNx HD in UHD, supports a new H.264 SDI format which is 4210-bit, and features an improved range of inputs and outputs. You can also stream via the USB-C port when connected to a computer. Next is the HyperDeck Studio HD Pro, which includes all the features of the Plus model but at a full rack width size. With this larger size, there's more space for features such as the 2 SSD slots as well as the 2 SD card slots of the smaller models. The 4K Pro is their new flagship HyperDeck. It features the same connectors as the Studio HD Pro with the addition of 12G SDI inputs and outputs. It also has better power options for redundant power for critical productions. Sony delayed the release of the ZV-E10, but it's finally here and is Sony's attempt at creating a camera aimed at a huge range of users. Though it is in the ZV line, it's clearly been inspired by the Alpha 6000 line, but with a few tweaks. The camera features a 24.2 megapixel APS-C XMOR CMOS sensor capable of capturing 4K up to 30p and Full HD up to 120p with full autofocus. It also features S-Log3 and S-Gamma3.Cine for matching with other Sony Alpha cameras. But this camera has clearly been designed and aimed at vloggers and the lower end of the market with its physical design and lower price point. We may be getting one of these into test, so let us know what you'd like to see in that video down below. We released our Angenieux Optimo Prime review earlier this month, and at Cannes, Angenieux released 2 new full-frame zoom lenses in their Optimo line, a 21-56mm t2.9 and a 37-102mm t2.9. This now means that Angenieux will have their Optimo 12x, ultra compact zooms, and their full series of Optimo Primes all available and ready for full-frame acquisition. This is now a really fleshed out set of lenses. Currently, Angenieux have only announced the lenses and are yet to release any other specs for them. Angenieux do also have their EZ zooms, which can cover full-frame sensors when in their full-frame mode, but these don't have the same image quality as Angenieux's Optimo Primes or zooms, so people have been wanting this for a while now. I really like the Optimo Primes, so I'm really excited to get these into test. There are so many gimbals on the market now, but Zhiyun has been creating some of the most popular options for a while now, and they have just released the Weebill 2. There have been a few versions of the Weebill now, and this new gimbal features some interesting new functions. The gimbal weighs 1.43 kilograms, can take a payload of up to 3.3 kilograms, has improved motor performance, and a 9-hour runtime off of the new internal battery. I don't think switching from interchangeable batteries to an internal battery is a massive deal, especially given that the gimbal has the ability to charge pretty fast and the long runtime of it. It also features a 2.9-inch flip-out touchscreen for gimbal control as well as monitoring the image of your camera. Zhiyun has also released a new monitor controller which features a 5.5-inch 1920x1080 panel with a peak brightness of 1000 nits. It features a receiver that can be paired with the Zhiyun Tech transmount system on the gimbal and can even control your camera depending on what camera and lens combination you are using. I'm intrigued to see what the latency and software on this is like, but it could be a cool little solution at its price point. We've been using the Aputure LS60D and X in the studio for a few months now and really like the quality of light that they can produce. And Aputure have just released 2 new accessories for these fixtures, a compact 14-inch softbox and the Spotlight mini zoom. Both of these new accessories really can help you shape your light. The little softbox may be on the smaller side, but when paired with the small LS60 lights, these could make for a really nice travel kit. The Spotlight mini zoom is a projection mount with a 2x zoom that will give you a 15 to 30 degree beam angle. It uses pretty standard M-size gobos and comes with 15 in the box. It has cutters built in, a drop-in iris, and all comes in a really nice bag. I'm really excited to get my hands on one of these projection units as they're really nice when we are lighting in the studio. Canon has released new firmware 1.4.0 for the EOS R6 and 1.5.0 for the 1DX Mark III. These new firmware bring C-Log 3 to both cameras, which is something people have been wanting to see in both of these cameras as they both could do just C-Log before. This was something I mentioned in our 1DX Mark III review, so it's great to see as that camera is such a beast. Both cameras have also had simultaneous video recording added, with a few caveats, and a range of other small tweaks to improve the cameras. Sound Devices have released the A20 Mini, and this is a digital wireless audio transmitter. This is a professional grade device and its design and price reflect that. It has a worldwide tuning range of 470 to 694 MHz, can be controlled via phone or tablet, via Bluetooth with their app, and even features 32-bit float, which you can record directly to the 64GB internal memory on the unit. Using the Mini's gain-forward architecture, you can set the TX's gain, low cut, and limiter on your 8 series mixer recorder. It can also be powered via 3 AAA batteries or with a Sony MP-BX1, which can be charged via the USB-C on the unit. It's also water resistant and has been designed to fit well on talent. It looks pretty awesome overall, but given its high price point, that should be expected. Rode has released 2 new products, the Thread Adaptor and the Tripod 2. The Thread Adaptor looks to be a handy little adapter kit that comes with a carabiner for attaching it onto a bag or strap, 1/4 inch, 3/8 and 5/8 adapters, and a flathead driver for tightening the adapters down. This looks like a really nice solution for solving issues that may pop up when mounting things on set, and at just £25, it's not a bad price for how well thought out it looks. The Tripod 2 is their new tabletop tripod. It looks well put together, comes with a 1/4 to 3/8 adapter for use with microphones, has 2 height settings, and has a max payload of 2 kilograms. The DJI RS2 has been an incredibly popular gimbal, and it's easy to see why with its feature set. However, DJI's newest firmware looks to add even more goodness to it. First off, it has fixed a bunch of bugs that have been reported to them. Active Track can also now be used with the Panasonic S1, S1H, S1R and S5 using the USB-C multi-camera control cable without the Raven Eye. A bunch of camera control functions have also been added for quite a range of cameras.
the big ones being the Pocket 6K Pro, the Alpha 1, FX3, S1R and XT4. All of these have slightly different parameters that you can control, but the Pocket 6K Pro and the FX3 can be controlled really well, which is great as we can see both of these being used on the RS2 quite a bit. They have also added a Steadicam mode, reduced the focus motor noise, optimized rotation speed when calibrating the focus motor, and increased the motor rotational speed when used with the Ronin 3D focus system. These are all great new additions. We've been thinking about doing a video all around the RS2 for a while now, so let us know down below if this is something you'd want to see. Teradek and SMOHD have released the new 4K monitor module TX. This attaches onto the back of the SMOHD Cine 7, Touch 702 and Indy 7 smart monitors and integrates nicely with their existing accessory ecosystem. It will also allow you to transmit 4K up to 30p with a range of up to 750 feet with zero delay, and it also enables an RX to control the camera wirelessly. At release, only the ARRI Alexa Mini, Mini LF and a mirror will be supported. Due to the Ethernet requirement for ARRI camera control, the TX module must be used with the Cine 7 that has the ARRI camera control license installed. You will then be able to access the full menu system of the camera, as well as all the key settings you will need to change while on set, all wirelessly. This control will also be available on Red Deer SimC2 at some point as well. This overall looks like a really nice addition to the Teradek and SMOHD ecosystem. Canon has released a new RF mount lens, the 14-35mm F4 L IS USM. This is aimed to be a lower cost, lighter and smaller ultra-wide zoom option for RF mount cameras. The 15-35 f2.8 is just over £500 more expensive than this new F4 lens and is a decent amount larger and heavier. So if optical quality is almost as good on this new one as it is to the f2.8, then this could be a decent option if you can deal with the slightly slower aperture, especially if you're putting it onto something like a gimbal or a slider where weight is pretty important. Elgato has been extremely busy as they have just announced a whole range of new products. This was the Facecam, the Stream Deck Mark II, a Wi-Fi strip extension kit, a range of mounting arms, the Wave XLR, the ChatLink Pro and 2 boom arms for their Wave microphones. For us, there are a few standout ones to look at though. First off is the Facecam. This is Elgato's attempt to create a higher quality webcam for streamers. This looks like a pretty box standard high-end webcam, but the cool thing is the piece of software they've released with it called Camera Hub, which looks to give users really good control of the webcam and even save the settings to the camera, which is a really unique feature that webcams don't normally have. The image looks alright, but it's a webcam, and you shouldn't expect DSLR or mirrorless imagery from something with a sensor this small and at this price point. They have also released 2 new microphone boom arms, one standard scissor boom arm and one low profile one to sit under a monitor. I really like the look of the low profile version. As well as these, they've also released a wall mount, which will allow you to mount cameras or lights onto your wall for cleaner setups or different angles. The Stream Deck has been a super popular accessory for not only solo streamers, but also for productions looking for a really customizable macro keyboard, and the Mark II is essentially bringing their normal size Stream Deck in line with their newer Stream Deck XL. This means you have the addition of a magnetic stand and a USB-C, which will both be welcomed additions. The Wave XLR is a USB XLR audio interface. This is a really simple device. You've got a full-size 3-pin XLR input, headphone out and USB-C. This is made for streamers who want to use high-quality XLR microphones in their streams, such as the popular Shure SM7B or Rode PodMic, both of which will be powered no problem off of the Wave XLR. From the reviews I've read and watched on this, the preamps sound really good for something at this price point. Another big plus is the integration with their existing Wavelink software, which can be a really powerful tool for streamers. If you want us to do a full overview of a streaming setup like this, let us know down in the comments below. 8sin have released a half cage with the Pocket 6K Pro, and the Pocket 6K Pro has slowly had accessories come out for it over the past few months. This new half cage from 8sin looks nice, and I do like their previous accessories, and this looks like a solid lightweight option for 6K Pro owners wanting to build their camera a little bit more. They will also be offering it with a range of top handles depending on what you need. We are planning on doing a how to upgrade video on the Pocket 6K Pro soon, so let us know if you want to see this or any other Pocket 6K Pro accessories down in the comments below. Tilta have introduced 2 new dummy batteries to the Red KOMODO, of course just after we've done our massive series on the Red KOMODO accessories. The KOMODO uses Canon's BP style battery, and this dummy battery will allow you to adapt this out to either PTAP or 2-pin LEMO depending on what version you grab. Tilta seem to have designed this with their slide for the RS2 in mind, which when used with one of the cables will allow you to power the KOMODO directly from the RS2 battery, which will make your camera package much lighter and easier to power. However, depending on your Red KOMODO rig, this could also be a handy option to just power your camera in general. Right, let's get into our quickfire honourable mentions. Links to details about these are in the description below. Camera has released a range of rigging accessories with the Panasonic BGH1. Manfrotto has released a range of video conference backgrounds. They have released several different versions of these, are double-sided, and you can even use your own images as the background if you'd like to. Tamron have announced their new APS-C E and X mount 18 to 300mm f3.5 to 5.6 DI 3-A VC VDX zoom. Ryko have released the Nano Shield, which is a new lightweight windshield kit. Wyze has released a dual UHS 2 SD card reader, which uses a USB-C 3.2 Gen 2 interface and can handle transfer speeds up to 10 gigabits per second. Polyland have shown off their new Stream Mix M1, which is an affordable touchscreen switcher with a range of inputs and connectivity. It has loads of different features packed into it. Adobe have released Premiere Pro 15.4, which brings 2 new large features to its users: an automated text-to-speech feature for transcriptions and captions, and native support for Apple's M1 Max. Flanders have announced the XM312U, a 31-inch 4K UHD HDR mastering monitor with a peak brightness of 5000 nits. Godox have announced 3 new RGB LED panels, the LD75R, LD150RS and LD150R. Rode have released new firmware for the Rodecaster Pro and Rode Connect. Blackmagic have released updates for their Atom switches and SmartView. Edelcrom have announced the Flex Tilt Head V3. Sonnet have released a range of kit in the Duo Mode ecosystem. Hive have announced a quad bracket for their existing fixtures, and Panasonic have released the WX ST400 lav mic and wireless body pack. Tilta also announced the Hermit POV support system, and this is a helmet rig designed for POV shots.
If you enjoyed this, please make sure to subscribe ready for next month's quick kit, and let us know what kit you've picked up this month in the comments below. And thank you so much for watching.